So I'm trying to exactly find the way to start off this video. I've been trying. I've been sitting here pondering like, well, do I just start off talking about the episode? Do I just say, hey, what's up, guys? Do I throw in a little cringy, the creme de la creme cringy jokes that I have in my little duffel bag? Well, there's not actually a duffel bag. It's just, me with, some stupid ideas. But I was just like, how do I start this? You know what I mean? Because this episode, Dragon Ball Super episode 122, the long-awaited episode, I can arguably say that I feel as though Toei Animation, and I gotta give them props when it's due, it's due. I feel as though they took the opportunity because there was a week off from the episodes. Instead of saying, you know what, let's go and move on to more, future episodes, working on the future, and leave episodes, looking okay, it looks as though they said, you know what, we got an extra week. Because a lot of the times, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these anime, they're delivering the episodes literally within hours of them airing on TV to the TV stations or whatever. Like, that's how crazy it be with these anime. I know Attack on Titan was guilty of that to the point where they missed deadlines and had to reschedule episodes and shit like that. Like, that's how bad it gets sometimes with creating anime or whatever. But Toei Animation, they truly showed their shit, because this episode of Dragon Ball Super looked absolutely positively gorgeous in almost every aspect. The shots, we talked about a little bit of leaks or whatever, but a lot of those were definitely in between shots, because there was nothing noticeable of anything looking off par. It looked incredible. It was just like breathtaking with some of the shots when Vegeta was raging and going Final Flash, getting ready to blow his load. That sounds so bad. Pause. It was just like, holy shit. This looks amazing. Every shot was just absolutely incredible throughout this episode. Again, I do believe they brought in a long-time, really talented person. His name is Yuya Takahashi. I believe he worked on this episode or parts of this episode. That's probably why it looks so gorgeous, because from what I hear, the man is very talented. So kudos to him, because again, art and animation is gorgeous. Now, let's move that out the way. Let's talk about the content itself within the episode. Oh my gosh, even that. I want to start off with this way, because there's again a couple fights and a couple things going on throughout the episode. It's like almost 4 different events going on at the same time. I want to start off with this one though, because it really took me by surprise, and that's Frieza versus Dyspo. I did not expect in the sliderest light that Frieza would be struggling against Dyspo. I think a part of it is them trying to build up Dyspo a little bit more, like, yo, these are the final people, you know what I mean? Even Frieza's having trouble with one that is not even, the top of the ranks, you know what I mean? So that's them once again building up, although I think Universe 11 has been more than enough of a build up, leading into it. And also they want to make the finale, because there's only like 8 minutes after this episode of the Tournament of Power, really climactic. They want to show their shit. They want to showcase some great battles, and if Frieza's just, bodying people, then what fun would that be, right? So I think that's a big part of why they did what they did with the Frieza versus Dyspo situation. It made me feel bad for Frieza. It made me look at Frieza like, I could possibly accept you at some given point being a, not necessarily hero, not even as good as Vegeta has gotten over the years, but okay, like, just chill. Maybe like the relationship between Piccolo and Goku prior to Raditz' arrival, like, that tension, something like that. I would have been fine with that. Just seeing him struggling in this episode against somebody that's supposed to be an antagonist, but they're not really even an antagonist, because they're actually good in comparison to Frieza, so it's really a bizarre way to categorize them. But nonetheless, it was like, I can see it happening. I don't want it to happen, to be honest with you. I love Frieza being evil, but I can see him again being on that level between like Goku and Piccolo before the Saiyan saga started. I can see him being in that realm of like, we don't like each other, we'll throw hands at any given point, but it's not like, this hatred, whatever. But then again, you never know. But either way, the moments between Frieza and Dyspo were insane, and just to see Frieza outmaneuvered by Dyspo, and Dyspo running circles around him and everything, it showcases that speed is a huge thing, and I love when they do lessons like that. Like, it doesn't only take strength, you also need speed, because if you can't catch a motherfucker, then you might as well just quit, you know what I'm saying? So, interesting stuff there, the Frieza versus Dyspo. It threw me for a loop. I, in a way, don't know how to feel, just because it's like, damn, this was giving Frieza this much trouble, what the hell? But at the same time, it is what it is. Moving forward, Gohan and Android 17 versus Toppo. It looked gorgeous, and it was interesting to see them working together, and I think because there's numbers, they're being a little bit effective, but in reality, let's be real here, Toppo should body the both of them. Like in the manga, I'm curious how all this is going to play out, but realistically, Toppo should body them, because Gohan, even at his max, is nowhere close to Super Saiyan Blue or beyond. And remember, Goku, he had trouble with Toppo in the Super Saiyan Blue, and even in the manga, I think he lost to Toppo. So you gotta kind of say, well, okay, if that was the case, and you got 17 and Gohan, like, they shouldn't really measure up to Toppo if he's on God level and he's supposed to be the next God of destruction. So that's just me. It did look cool, it's interesting, and I think the numbers, again, is playing a huge part, but just because, you know, there's numbers, does that really make it that a couple of weaker individuals, I wouldn't say weaklings, because 17 has shown in those filler episodes that he could hold up against, you know, Goku and Blue, and Gohan is still strong, and that gives him numbers, but it was very interesting, and it was like, holy shit, but Toppo should probably still be able to body them. Again, numbers is really helping, and of course, the biggest scenes, Goku and Vegeta and Jiren. Holy shit, this episode, oh my gosh, it really made me feel a lot of different things, because for starters, it once again delved into Vegeta's character development, that sacred character development, because his pride is his number one thing. You know, it took a lot out of him, and that was the biggest character development to the series to the date, when he admitted, Kakarot, you're better than me. You know, Goku, you're better. You're better. And he still holds that to this day, but I think he handles it in a better manner, a more mature manner. He turned it from hatred and resentment to rivalry and inspiration, and accepting that, you know, I'm not the strongest. I'm just not. But nevertheless, this episode, I loved it. One of the things, and I want to talk about it, I want to do a deep dive on it, I really want to get into the core of what it meant, was that line that Vegeta said against Jiren. He said, Kakarot can have his Ultra Instinct. I don't remember if he said stupid Ultra Instinct or whatever, but he said something along the lines of Kakarot can have his Ultra Instinct. You know, I don't even want it. And I think a big part of it is, one, we seen throughout the episode, Vegeta was actually starting to learn of maneuvering of Ultra Instinct without actually being in the form. He could see Jiren's punches and even landed a blow on him, and the blow was effective, almost as if it was an Ultra Instinct. I think this episode, I think the new ending, and a lot of things are really starting to hint that Vegeta could actually ascend beyond Goku. If they make Vegeta the hero of this, I will blow my load everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But it's seeming as if that's a possibility, because one, again, if he's landing blows that are effective against Jiren and Goku couldn't do it, it's looking more like it's the attack. And I think the theory of him getting the attack version of Ultra Instinct could also play into effect, because he landed a blow, he wasn't Ultra Instinct, but he still managed to get a really good shot in there, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of caught me off guard a little bit, of like, Jiren was affected by that. And then Vegeta got in that kick too, which, oh my gosh, just throughout the episode, the action, 11 out of 10, like, this is how you start a year. Even if Vegeta took an L, he took an L gracefully, he wasn't completely eliminated, so I will take that. They handled this with such precious care this episode. They truly did a remarkable job. Like, they made it so that, okay, they still gotta meet the quota. Vegeta can't completely come in and take on Jiren and destroy him, when in reality he shouldn't be able to, but they handled it with respect. That final flash that he was charging and hitting Jiren with it and everything, just the pride, all of it, the music as well. There was a couple of cues, I don't know if they were new, but I know those cues was like, they had me as well, so it seemed as though there was some new music in there, and it was amazing. It was incredible. Now, diving more into the future of it, because, you know, Vegeta, even at his max, you know, and going above of what he's capable of, he still wasn't able to take out Jiren. Direct hit. If that's not an indication that at the moment he's not completely ready, then nothing is. I think it showcases also a lesson that Whis and Beerus were trying to teach them, is that together, working together, they would be massive, and you've seen instances of it. On his own, you know, Goku was able to do a couple different things. On his own, Vegeta was able to do a couple different things. Together, combined, they would body Jiren, I think. I think Jiren, that would be when he'd get his fight that he desperately wants in the Tournament of Power. But kind of curious what you guys thought of this episode of Dragon Ball Super 122. Was it worth the wait? What did you think about, okay, for starters, Frieza versus Dyspo? Are you saddened by it? Are you annoyed by it? Do you like it? You hate it? What do you think about that? The fact that Frieza is struggling against Dyspo. Also, what do you think about the Toppo fight? That's one that I'm kind of a little bit like 17 and Gohan together even. Toppo's online for God of Destruction, so kind of a little bit of discrepancy there, but it still was freaking awesome to see. And of course, the Goku, Vegeta, Frieza situation, insane. What do you think? Does Vegeta have a future brand new transformation for himself coming through? Or is it going to be like Ultra Instinct but Ultra Attack instead? Maybe it'll be named and it'll be his own form that Goku won't have. And your thoughts on just this entire episode as a whole, bringing in 2018 in an incredible way. Shout outs to Dragon Ball Super for this one. 11 out of 10 for this episode. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day.